Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Go Up,
where we explore the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven.
I'm Dean.
I'm Karitas.
Karitas.
Yeah, have to switch it up once in a while.
That was almost elegant sounding.
Almost.
Karitas, today we're going to talk about gravity again. We're going to talk about the gravity of love.
Gravity of love, folks. Stay tuned.
That's right.
Okay, we're back.
We are back.
Should we start with you singing a love song?
No.
Have you ever written a love song?
You know what? Maybe once.
Okay, my husband used to write me love songs all the time before he was a believer. And it was kind of uncomfortable for me because I knew that they were meant to be for God.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't know that yet. I knew he would know one day, but he didn't know that yet.
You know what? Nathan loves Jesus with all his heart. He's so passionate.
Yeah, all that love. He still has all that love for me, but now it's through the Father. It's in a healthier way. And now he writes love songs to the Lord as well.
Let's direct our love towards our website, Karitas.
Oh, letsgoup.us.
That's right, because we are in this together.
And we love being in this together.
That's right. And if you are encouraged by today's episode, consider hitting like, aka love,
share,
subscribe,
and the notification bell.
We would love it if you would do that.
Formalities done.
Yes, they're done lovingly, but we haven't welcomed our listeners yet.
That's right. Welcome back, guys. You're there too.
Welcome if you're joining us on Grace Awakening Network and or YouTube and or any other platform that streams podcasts.
Oh, wow. You said platform correctly this time.
I did. No more platform. Today we're talking about the gravity of love. So you're telling me that Nathan started out writing love songs to you.
Lots of love songs.
Now I've heard him write love songs to Jesus. But don't you just wish he'd write you one more?
Oh, no, I'm good.
You're good?
I'm solid.
You're good. You're solid. So today we want to talk about how all of creation is drawn with this invisible string magnet to love.
The gravity of love.
The gravity of love is one of the biggest drawing factors in the entire cosmos. God's love draws our hearts.
Yeah.
But even in the natural world.
Yeah, we can see a parallel.
Yeah. Everything is drawn to love.
Mm-hmm. Plants.
Plants are drawn to love.
Okay, I had a cousin in Iceland with some roses. People don't have roses there very often. So she had these roses and she was doing a little experiment and she was speaking lovingly to one of them and then just ignoring the rest. The one that she spoke lovingly to lasted, I think, a week or two longer in the vase than the rest. The rest started withering and doing the typical rose in a vase thing.
So what did she do? Just go up to it and speak to it like a microphone? Or
I think she just went up and said, "You're such a beautiful flower." And she would just say nice things to it.
And it kept living.
It did well. A lot better than the rest.
Karitas, nature, animals, plants, they're all drawn to love. When I go out for walks or hikes, or if I go into the woods, I'm pretty deliberate about releasing love on everything that I see. I will literally bless trees. If I see a robin or a duck or wherever I am, I will release the blessing of God and the love of God over those creatures. If I see a deer, I will release blessing over it. And I've actually had natural things that are wild respond to me positively.
Wow.
Because of that. It doesn't just have to be, domesticated animals.
So my question, do you get bit by mosquitoes less?
No.
Stung by bees less, maybe?
They actually like me more.
Drawn to the sweetness of your blood.
That's right. Sometimes it doesn't work in the way that you want it to.
Well, we were talking about that last year, about speaking original creation intent over these creatures, right? Like, were mosquitoes meant to make us itchy and uncomfortable in the original design of things, or is that a part of the fall?
As part of the fall.
Same with bees and stinging and the toxins, right? So you just start speaking the life into the mosquito eating you, Dean. You are not created to release this itchy substance into my skin and suck my blood.
Originally, I believe that the insects of the world were created to groom the world. They just got a little twisted. Yeah. Their original intent has been misdirected.
Yeah. Have you ever smelt a bouquet of daisies?
I don't know that I have.
Don't. They smell like rotten socks or stinky feet. They're bad. But I looked it up once. Is it normal for daisies to stink? And yes, but flies are the secret, subtle pollinators of the daisies.
Okay.
Right? The bees get all the cred, but the flies, they do the hard work with the daisies. Anyways, that was just a side note.
It's all good.
Original created design. Have you ever had some wild encounters?
I have. I've had wild creatures come up to me and just kind of stand there, and the look in their eyes tells me that they're confused at their own action. They don't understand how they could come up to a human and not be afraid.
Right.
But yet they're not. And then I've also had several instances where I've been around, let's say, a dog that's very angry, and I've just released love over it. And in the end, you watch that creature melt and their fear goes away, and they'll actually come up to you. It's just a matter of releasing light and love.
Wow.
They don't understand. They're afraid. Nature's afraid of us. But when that fear is taken away, they can approach you and they don't understand why they're comfortable approaching you. That's what I've experienced.
Yeah, well, it's their original design to be comfortable around us. But for so long, it's been the opposite.
Yes.
That it's become normalized in their nature to be afraid of us.
In their genetics.
In their genetics, just like us, how we've normalized sin and separation and brokenness and fear. And so when you're living free from that, I think at first it's very uncomfortable. Like, what is this? What's happening? Right? I actually read a really cool article the other day about these orcas in the coast of British Columbia here. These researchers were out in the water studying the whales. The whales came up to their boat with their prey that they had killed for dinner. And they left it there for the researchers and backed away and just watched them. And the researchers were like, what is happening here? We've never seen these whales do this. And so then the whales take the prey again and they circle around the boat and then they leave it there and back away. And the researchers realized that these whales were offering them their food. They were sharing their dinner with them and watching them to see the humans' response. And the researchers have said, we had never seen this before, where whales come to us when we're not interacting with them, we're not going to them. They take the initiative, come to us, they leave us a gift. They realized they were sharing. Their minds were blown. And I'm reading this article, I'm like, wow, the whales are just in tune all of a sudden with their created design, right? Where we are the overseers of the earth and we're supposed to be in harmony with them. And there's this natural inclination of connection and they don't know how. So they're bringing us a dead seal.
Yeah.
Through the kingdom lens. I'm like, okay, nature's responding.
I have a story here, an excerpt from a book that I want to read. This book is called The Arco Volume, and it's in my bookshelf. It's a collection of writings found in ancient libraries around the world, including the Vatican Library, that some people went and dug out. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of books in some of these libraries that have never been opened.
Wow.
But some researchers went and they found some writings of people who had been alive at the time of Jesus, and they put it into this little book called the Arca Volume. So this one story is told by Lazarus because somebody went and interviewed Lazarus. Lazarus is the person that Jesus raised from the dead, and then his two sisters were Mary and Martha. But Lazarus was a friend of Jesus. In fact, when Lazarus died, I think Mary and Martha sent a message to Jesus saying, the one who you loved has died.
Yeah.
So Jesus had a close relationship with this guy. This is what Lazarus told the interviewer about Jesus. Listen to this. He said that when he and Jesus were out in the mountains, as they were most of the time, evidently they used to go on walks in the mountains, Jesus would tell him about all the flowers, the trees, and the rocks. And Lazarus said that none of the wild animals are afraid of him. He said that often the deer and the wolf will come and stand for Jesus to pet their mane, and they seem sad to go away from him, and that no serpent will dare hiss at him. So Jesus obviously displayed this amazing love for nature, so much so that the wild animals would come and approach him. They're not afraid of him, and they would stand there for him to stroke their mane, and they didn't want to go away.
Wow.
That's the power of love, the gravity of love, the God kind of agape love, and the care and the governance that we are created to have over creation through love.
That's amazing. So it wasn't just people drawn to him. Like we see all these stories of people being drawn to him from all walks of life, but also nature.
Yeah. And I ran across something else this week. I think this story is quite widespread, but even matter is shaped by love. Have you heard about the water bottle experiment?
Pray tell. Pray tell.
This experiment is the work of Masaru Emoto. He studied how water's molecular structure and crystal formation changes when exposed to different words and intentions. His experiments involved freezing water samples after they had been exposed to different types of stimuli, such as written labels and positive or negative words, or the spoken intentions of individuals. So what they did, they took water bottles and they spoke things to them, like love, beauty, or gratitude, or hate.
You are the ugliest water bottle I've ever seen.
Yes. And then they froze the water bottles and they looked at the crystals that were formed in the water. They typically resemble snowflakes. The water samples exposed to the positive words had beautiful symmetrical crystals, and the water samples exposed to the negative words like hate, evil, or disgust formed chaotic and fragmented crystals. Just a random example of words and how our emotions and what we release even on matter can change its molecular structure.
Wow. It brings a whole other level of the power of life and death is in your tongue.
Yeah.
So speak life over your water bottles,
That's
folks.
right.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Sometimes you buy water bottles and they just have that funky taste.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, ugh, this is that gross tasting water, it's probably going to keep tasting gross because I just spoke more death over it. I need to say, you will taste incredible by the time you hit my lips.
You're going to carry life into me.
H2O.
Yeah. So we're called to love the cosmos and all things natural. This includes speaking kindly to inanimate objects. So speak to your dining room table. You'll find natural things attracted to you when you release love on them.
Yeah, you won't even be a dog person and the dogs will be coming to you.
You'll wonder, why are all the neighborhood dogs lined up in front of my house this morning?
Yeah.
Okay, so Karitas, let's talk about the love of God.
Oh, that.
And how love is the gravitational force of the cosmos.
Okay, yeah.
So lately I've been a little bit interested in near-death experience accounts, NDEs.
Okay, not like your near-death experience. No. Okay, I was getting a little worried for a second.
No. So
NDEs, did you call them?
NDEs, yeah. There's something that almost every near-death experience survivor says when they come back. They tell about this invisible gravitational pull of love that they are drawn to. When they exit their bodies, there's this gravity. A lot of them use the word gravity, and they're drawn to this source of love.
So when we're told that there's a light and that's the only thing, the real stories are love.
Sometimes it's love encapsulated in light. That's why we talked about light last week and love this week, because the two of them, I think, are pretty much inseparable. Yeah. However, when these people are traveling in the universe towards whatever it is, they're being drawn by this love or this source of light.
That's interesting because I remember one of my close friends once telling me about how when her spouse passed away, he was an older man. She completely believes that you can pray for the dead and they'll be raised because Jesus said, pray for the dead.
Of course.
And they'll be raised. Yeah. So she believes it, like matter of fact. So when her spouse died, she prayed for him to come back to life with confidence, zero doubt. And he didn't. And the nurses were like, oh, you must be struggling. She's like, no, I'm not struggling. It just doesn't seem logical because Jesus says you can pray for the dead and they'll be raised.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe it's not that your prayer didn't work, but maybe he was drawn to the love. Maybe he had a choice and he said, no, I think I'll stay here with the love.
Right. Inevitably, all of the people that I've looked at and that I've listened to that have had NDEs wanted to stay. They did not want to come back. They came back because they had a message that they were sent back with, or they were sent back to do something. Right. They didn't want to come back.
Yeah, I bet if you encounter that,
yes, that
love of the Father in that degree, when we just have a shadow of it here, it's so overwhelming.
They report that they're drawn to this presence. It's so accepting and loving that they do not want to come back. And a lot of them say that it's the first time that they've felt fully known. And oftentimes they will meet Jesus and he will say their name. When he speaks their name, for the first time, they actually know who they actually are. Just Jesus speaking their name opens up for them a revelation of their identity.
We see a little glimpse of that in the garden when Mary went after Jesus was crucified, right? And she's going there. She sees the empty tomb. This man who she thought was just the gardener is behind her talking. And she's like, she's all distraught looking, Jesus, someone took him. Where'd they put him? And he just said her name.
Yeah.
Mary. This radical moment for her. In the scripture, it's just she turned around right away. Rabboni. She hadn't even seen his face yet, but her name spoke something.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was that similar impact that these people have encountered.
Yeah. I found a verse about it, John 10, verse 2. The one who enters by the door is a shepherd of the sheep. To him the doorkeeper opens, and the sheep listen to his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. So one thing that I've realized in my encounters with heaven is that Jesus will speak your name. He will call you by name. That's one way you can tell if it's the voice of Jesus or not, or the Holy Spirit. He will actually use your name. Incidentally, when I was reading through the book of Enoch for the first time, one thing that gripped my heart was that the Father would always address Enoch by his name. He would say, Enoch, why do you want to see these things? He was always calling him by name. And so it's one way that we know that the Father is calling us, because he uses our name. In this verse, it says, he calls his own sheep by name and leads them.
Yeah, we've created this impersonal God without intimacy or connection.
Yeah.
We worship him and he's up there and we're down here and we try to measure up and whatever. And there's this divide. But you see in how he speaks to us and that scripture in John 10 there, that it's intimate.
Yeah.
When you use someone's name, it's not Mr., it's your first name, the friendship, the familial name that people use. No one in your family would address you by your last name, just Dean. That's how the Father addresses us. And it's just so intimate.
And the love with which the name is spoken is such a gravitational pull. It's something that just undoes you. And I've also had heaven speak over me and use my name, and it just melts you. There's nothing else like it.
It's like, have you ever been in an environment where you're just surrounded by hundreds of people and nobody knows you, nobody sees you, it's very impersonal, but then there's someone who knows you and they say your name in that crowd, just the impact that has. And that's just one little worldly example of how powerful that is. And that's how our Father addresses us. That's how Jesus addresses us.
Yeah. So it does say that Jesus is the desire of the nations. So even that desire expresses the gravitational pull of his love. The concept of being drawn to Jesus signifies a spiritual attraction, often described as a gentle pull or an irresistible desire to connect and follow him. This attraction is often attributed to the Holy Spirit drawing individuals to Christ. It is also linked to the understanding of Jesus' sacrifice and his ability to offer love, healing, and transformation in our lives. Jesus is the desire. He is the one that we are all pulled towards, even those who don't know him. Yeah. We all desire him. We just don't know what we're desiring. We're all drawn. We're all attracted. We're all gravitationally pulled towards him and towards that love.
It's true. And we start hyper-focusing on other things and trying to make those things maybe better or loving, and we don't realize that he's the solution. We pull these little things in culture and society to try to improve and hyper-focus on them. But when he's the focus, all of it improves. All of it's blessed. All of it's pure and wonderful. I don't think we believe it can be that simple, but it really can be. He's the solution to all of it. That love is the solution. We create little laws here and there based on love we've seen in the Word. Like in Canada, we have the Good Samaritan law. If you try to help somebody and you accidentally injure them while you're helping them, but your motive was to help them, you can't be sued by that person. That's not the reality in a lot of other countries, so people are afraid to help. But people here love that law because there's a protection around the act of love. You're not at risk if you're trying to love someone. Now, if you stick a pen in someone's throat and try to do a tracheotomy and you're not a doctor, then you'd probably get in some trouble. But a reasonable amount of love, pulling someone out of a burning car, you break their leg, you're not going to be sued.
Right.
But that's the heart of the Father. That's the love of Jesus. He talked about the Good Samaritan. So we see these little bits and pieces of the heart of Jesus. There's a draw to it, being safe to love someone and do good to them without fear attached to it.
There's something that I've started doing just recently, because I have a lot of friends, of course, who don't know Jesus, and you can be in their lives for years sometimes. You do your best to love them. What I've started doing is praying that Holy Spirit will awaken their hearts to the love of the Father. Any human being on the earth whose heart becomes awakened to the love of the Father will respond to that love. We all respond to love, and we all respond to God's love. If the barrier could ever be removed that keeps that love from reaching us. So lately I've been praying for my friends that that barrier will be removed and that love will be able to pierce through, because that is what will draw them. They won't be able to resist it.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows the love of God, who has experienced it firsthand, you can't unsee it.
And you can't convince someone of it through words,
No, you're right.
right? If they have a barrier there, you can say and prove it in all sorts of ways. But if they aren't experiencing it and they haven't opened to it, it's just words on a paper.
Yeah. Pray that those roadblocks for love will be removed from their life.
Yeah. We have that authority to be able to enter that situation with those people in our life and free them from that kind of bondage.
Oh, yes, we do.
Right? Loose on earth what's in heaven. There's no barriers there between our heart and the Father's love.
Mm-hmm.
So I release that here in my friend.
Once the barrier is removed, the gravity will do the rest of the work. So John 4:19, we love because he first loved us. There's no shortage of love those around you well sermons, but I think oftentimes what we're trying to do is love out of our own resources. There is a human love and a human attraction. Just look at the majority of the songs that are written and you'll see that physical love or romantic love also attracts, right? There's this gravity attraction of people coming together. But the love of God is a different thing altogether. And if we really want to make an effect on the world, and if we really want to release the gravity of the love of the Father on this world, we'll have to do it out of our response to his love. Our ability to love is a response to God's love for us, indicating that his love is the foundation and source of all love. Our world is in such deficit of love. We live in a world full of orphans who have no idea who they are, where they have come from, or where they are going. So the love of the Father grounds us. You can't understate the importance of us coming to him and letting him love us. I don't know any other way to say that. I've told this to so many people and I get blank stares, but sit in your chair, turn your face towards him, and let him love you. There's no shortcut to that.
Yeah. You can't hate someone. You can't be angry. If you're feeling any of those things about someone, then you haven't fully let him love you. That's how powerful his love is. All those other things stop existing in that love. So we can try to love people and try to do good to our neighbor and try to be a better person. Or we could sit in his love and say, it's your perfect love that casts out all the garbage.
Yes. We all wonder at Bethel. I've been there so many times, as have you. In fact, you just got back from a trip. At the heart of Bethel is a man, Bill Johnson, and I heard him say this a few years ago, and I was just like, wow, this is the heart of the whole thing. When you boil it all down, it sits on this foundation. He said, I don't care where I am or what I'm doing on any given day. I will not go a day without sitting in a chair somewhere at least 15 or 20 minutes and just letting the Father love me. I will not go a day without doing that. So when you take everything and distill it down, he is sitting on the foundation of the love of God in his life.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We need to let ourselves be loved, because only in that love, only in the Father speaking our name, only in his love where we are known fully accepted, and fully released to be who we are, only out of that can we do anything.
Yeah. And you see it in his life, for example, quite often slandered and persecuted and ridiculed, and yet not broken, because he obviously is very aware of how the Father sees him.
Yeah. Jeremiah 31 says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. So the drawing power, the gravity of the love and the kindness of God, right?
Yeah, so good.
Jesus also said, and I, if I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all people to myself. So a lot of translations use the word people, but the Greek word is actually all things. If I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw all things to myself. That's why love has such a gravitational pull. Yes, it draws people, but it draws all things.
Yeah.
It draws matter. It draws creatures. It draws the cosmos. It draws nature. All forces of nature can be calmed by love. I've heard of people speaking love over storms. For instance, a storm will come over a city and it will have this angry emotion attached to it. And I've heard of people connecting with the heart of that thing and releasing love over it. And then that thing just dissipating and going somewhere else. The cosmos is drawn to love. People are drawn to love. And any kind of a creature out there in the vastness, everything is drawn, because Jesus said, I will draw all things to myself. And so he went to the cross. What did he display? He displayed love. Greater love has no one than this, than he lays down his life for his friends.
Yeah.
love was being put on the cross and displayed. And so love is now drawing all things.
It just shifts your perspective from even the things we fear in life that we feel like we need to fight and defend against. When you look at it through this perspective, sure, the typical mass response would be maybe aggression or fear or defense. But Jesus' response was humility, gentleness, and love and sacrifice. And even then, just like it would be today, it was ridiculed and it was seen as weak and broken and not enough, but it was everything.
Yeah.
And it changed everything.
I have a couple of practical things here. I just wanted to throw them out there just before we end today. It is easy to see the drawing effect of unconditional love when moving around and interacting with people. The moment that you love somebody, they start responding to that love.
Yeah.
They're drawn to it. It is also easy to find love deficits in people so large that there's no way that we can fill them on our own. I've been in so many situations. Let's say that you're in a small group and you start loving the people in that group, and one person has a massive deficit of love and they suck all the attention to themselves because there's such a hole in their heart. They'll literally hijack the entire meeting because they have such an emptiness in them. When you come across a situation like that, realize that you cannot fill that void.
Yeah.
The only thing that will fill that void is the love of God. We are wise in those situations to point that person to the source.
Yeah.
We're not the source. The source can flow through us, but he is the ultimate source. That's the only way that that kind of a deficit will be filled.
Yeah.
Show people love when they are attracted to you, but rather than trying to fill their heart with your own love, point them to the source of love. Only there will their souls be connected to the source and drawn with the gravity of the spirit that holds the eternal reservoir of love.
Oof, that's so good.
That can satisfy the updraft desire of every person's heart.
That is so good, Dean. The eternal reservoir, because sure, we have the rivers of living water flowing through us, but if we can direct them to that eternal reservoir where they can be the ones flowing now.
Don't let it become about you.
Yeah.
Don't get enamored with the attraction. Connect them to the source.
Oh, yeah. And then they will be filled and so healthy. So good, Dean. Wow.
Awesome, Karitas. That's all we have time for today.
So good. Just a drop in the ocean.
That's right. So that's where we're going to leave it today. So have an awesome week, everyone. Let your heart be drawn to the gravity of the love of the Father. Spend time with him. Let him love you.
Yeah.
Let him fill your own reservoir with love.
Every day.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time, and
all you need is love.
All you need is love. Bye.
Dean sang. He sang.